Welcome back to the 401 Games Pro Tour Qualifier. The format today is Born of the Gods Sealed. I'm Alex Neufeldt, joined by Daniel Fournier.
Hello. Welcome to round 4 of 8. Our feature match for this round is Matt Vienneau and Kevin Green. So they got deck checked, so that was pretty sweet. Fortunately, there was no penalty involved. Looks like Matt is keeping a 7, and Kevin immediately ships his back, looking for a better 6. Matt sifting through the piles of tokens there. Looks like he's prepared for something.
Yeah.
Not really sure what's in his deck there, but I don't really think he has any token producers other than Kiora's Ultimate. But
Hey man, you gotta be prepared. Those Krakens.
those Krakens are pretty strong. There's actually only one of them in those piles, so if the second one happens, we will be at a loss for tokens.
Hopefully you won't need it though.
That's very unlikely to happen. So it looks like Matt Vienneau's playing a fairly a high quality blue-green deck. As we said, it has Kiora. He also has the Green God and Alea and a Mistcutter Hydra. So it's a solid blue-green deck. Bunch of tricks, some removal. Whereas Kevin, if I remember correctly, is playing an aggressive red-white deck.
Yeah.
Bunch of dorks, bunch of removal, bunch of tricks.
Yeah.
Kind of what we're expecting.
Nothing really low quality in that deck, everything being like a good average card or better. I was really impressed with it. I might have a bit of a bias towards Boros from Guild Pack, but you know.
Gate Crash.
Gate Crash?
Gate Crash.
That was
the recent one, right?
Yeah, that recent one.
You know, I think the only rare in Kevin's deck is actually a Change of the Rocks, which I believe is foil, so it's way better than the other one.
Oh yeah, naturally.
I think foil Change of the Rocks exiles 2 creatures. Mm-hmm. All right, he's looking at his 6. Hopefully it'll be better than the 7. That would be nice. We get into a sweet game here. Right. Matt Vienneau, old school pro, rather famed player. Kevin Green, local upstart. We'll see if Kevin going to 5 probably isn't a very good sign, especially given that Matt's deck is very good.
Yeah, and on the play too. He's gonna. Did I see him put in 7 cards, or was that 6?
I thought that was 6.
Yeah.
Well, let's just pay attention and keep counting.
So, when you pile shuffle your deck, do you do the good old-fashioned 7 pile, or are you a 8 pile guy, or?
I actually just do 6 because I'm lazy.
You do 6?
I'm aware that 6 is wrong.
It's not
7 and 5 are also incorrect.
No, 7's where it's at. It's
both 7 and 5 pile shuffles. I'm not sure about limited, but I know I actually don't even remember in what deck size it is. But if you do that pile shuffle, I think it's either 5 or 7 twice, then it returns it back to its original form and is cheating.
But if you
don't pile 5s.
Yeah. I remember the rule was you weren't supposed to pile shuffle a number of piles divisible by the total number of cards in your deck.
Also true, just because that's a tell. That's why I like 6 piles in limited, and I just never pile shuffling constructed. It's too much work. I'm just lazy.
Have you ever played against someone who does a pile shuffle after cracking a fetch land?
I've never seen that, fortunately. I would hit them.
Or
it would be completely unacceptable.
Or maybe call a judge, get them.
Yeah, he's on a mode of 5.
Yeah.
That's an unfortunate start for Kevin. We did not see who was on the play, if I remember correctly. So, well, there we go. It's Kevin. 5 cards on the plays, down quite a few. Hopefully he'll be able to make a game out of this. This is a deck that can perform on 5.
Has Matt missed his second land draw?
What? Oh, Kevin missed his second land.
Yeah, Kevin, I meant.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
Well, our Matt has apparently a free Satyr Wayfinder. Kevin does find his second, followed up with an Oresco Sun Guide. That does outclass the Satyr Wayfinder. So
yes, but I have a feeling
Matt lost his Voyage's End, so that is relevant. Card is good, and is one of the few actual pieces of removal in his deck.
Yeah, so
Matt just passes the turn back on 3.
Kevin bashes in.
Matt unlikely to block even if he has something like
yeah, if he has a combat trick, it's...
Yeah. Oh. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, he's going to do it anyways. No respect for the white combat tricks.
Yeah, and Kevin's got nothing, been sad, and...
Follows up with a lonely, loyal Pegasus. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
It is the mold of 5 on the play, though. It's kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
A lot of games in this format are complete blowouts.
There are draws that Kevin could have had that would have let him compete in this game, especially being on the play. But this definitely was not one of them. Like,
not the way this is panned out.
Yeah, like turn 1 Loyal Pegasus, turn 2 Bear. That's
that would be fair. Even then, he doesn't even have a second color. It's just a pretty brutal situation for him, all things considered.
Yeah, Matt tripling his power in play. Miss it for 3.
Card's okay, I guess.
Yeah,
it's fine. Like, he's playing around Elspeth here, so it's just going under. All his creatures have 3 power. Tight play.
Yeah, 9 damage. Knocking Kevin down to...
Kevin finds his red source probably more than a bit late.
Yeah.
Deck's not that heavy on removal. I don't think he can account for that board.
As always, an Anger of the Gods would be able to save him. But,
yes, but he has 1 red.
But he only has 1 red.
What if he had Manamorphose? That would be good.
Alright, so we have a Wingsteed Rider, practically a rare bomb in the common slot, but looks like Kevin's way too far behind on this board. Yeah, Matt makes his 5th land drop, and yeah, this like with Kevin at 8 and an impressive board. Looks like it's just going to take 1 or 2 combat steps for Matt to take this game away and move on to game 2. Oh, he's got a pre-combat play. That is a Nyxborn Triton, I believe, letting him scry 1 and pumping up his flyer into a 5/5, and yeah, Kevin just scoops it up from there. The writing was already on the wall, but yeah. All right. So both players shuffling up. Let's see if they have anything worth citing in. I'll go through.
I was gone for a minute there. I assume Kevin just conceded, right?
Matt flashed him a Nyxborn Triton to show that he had all awesome attacks to induce the concession.
All these blowouts. Yeah, that was a brutal game 1. We keep getting rough mulligan to 5 game 1s here. I'm picking the wrong matches by accident, unfortunately, but we'll see if Kevin can rally. His deck's definitely capable of it.
Have you considered picking matches where people don't mulligan to 5 game 1?
No, I did not. It's intentional.
Add that to your search engine, and maybe we can...
I'll consider it.
Yeah.
All right, I considered it.
Shredding Winds is 1 card in Matt's sideboard. He might consider boarding in.
He didn't really see much other than the 1 flyer, though, so...
He saw the Loyal Pegasus and Wingsteed Rider.
Oh, he saw Wingsteed Rider.
Yeah.
I guess I left, so...
Yeah, you were leaving right as that came, so...
It's also Cavalry Pegasus, some other cards. So it doesn't seem like it would be that strong.
And it's a white. It's a white-red deck with like relatively low drops. It's not unreasonable to assume he's got.
I think you generally board in that card against these decks, but
yeah,
you might not. We'll see. It is important to remember that Matt does have a very reasonable white-red deck in his sideboard, and from what we can tell, he is not going in that direction.
All right.
But he does have a fully sleeved red-white deck in his board, as I saw during the deck check.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain his green and blue deck's considerably stronger, though.
Yeah. But it looks like he's sizing up all of his options. Maybe
we might see it in the later round, but not right
now. When would you board into the other deck? Like,
I'm not really certain. I've actually have very little experience with transformative sideboard strategies in limited.
Okay.
It's never really been what I've done, but I'm fortunate to never have had a pool that's actually that level of complexity. They're generally either, none of these colors are playable.
Yeah.
And I'm dead regardless of my decisions.
Yeah.
Or, I guess I have to play these 2 colors.
Exactly, right. Or you're like doing a soft splash for 2 main colors into smaller colors like we saw in round 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's very rare that you have 2 potential decks in your pool because they're all, like, the odds of them being of equal power level and having strategic diversity, it's just not a common thing.
The only situation where I've done that so far is switching the secondary color in a deck to blue, because due to having, like, let's say, a Retraction Helix and a Voyage's End, and my opponent being, like, a very strict Voltron deck.
Yeah.
Where my main deck is, like, black-green, no removal. That could never be that kind of deck ever.
Okay.
So, like, you cut the black and then play a couple mediocre blue cards and the 2 answers.
Yeah,
and then lose anyways, because whatever. But at least it's a plan. A plan is better than no plan.
Exactly, right. Like,
so Kevin's going to be on the play in this game, too. Matt is up a game, so We do want it is good for the aggressive deck to be on the play. So.
Indeed, Matt thoroughly
Silver lining.
Shuffling his deck. Showing there's no clumps or anything.
Shuffling is good.
Yeah, well, especially after you've been deck checked.
I would go. Well, this is after a game.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to say that before presenting your deck, you should always shuffle.
Oh yeah.
I think adequately. I think is a good plan.
That's the thing. A lot of people I don't think do properly is adequately shuffle. There's always gonna.
People like pile once, give it a riffle, present,
and
then complain about variance.
Yeah, and there's still clumps. It's like, oh, why did I draw 5 lands in a row? Well,
does in fact take a while to shuffle deck properly.
Yeah, when you picked up your lands at the end of the game, you had a clump of 6 lands.
Both players correctly choosing to draw 7 cards and not fewer or more.
Sometimes I've been a fan of going to 6, but that's really if I'm feeling nice.
No, I mean on your first draws.
Like when
you start with 6 as a nod to your opponent, giving them a chance.
Well, like, what if they're on Howling Mine, set an impact from like old time styles?
Good play. Yeah. So both players seem to keep their 7. Yeah. Kevin does not have a 1-drop. I don't believe there are 1-drops in his deck. So
outside that Loyal Pegasus, that
oh right.
Yeah.
It's not. I guess
it's technically a 1-drop,
and would have been really good with this Impetuous Sun Chaser. Would have been what I would call a good follow-up.
Matt surveying his hand.
Good choice, playing a second color on turn 2.
Yeah.
Pass that right back.
Alright, so this is when things get saucy. What does Kevin do?
What is his follow-up?
Does he add a Wingsteed Rider? Does he start suiting up the Impetuous Sun Chaser?
Suiting up the Sun Chaser is dangerous against the blue deck because you can generally assume they have like Voyage's End, Sudden Storm, Griptide. Okay. Cards that generally deal with Voltron very well.
Yeah.
We generally want to flood a board rather than Voltron. Cragma Butcher as a follow-up is very strong.
Indeed. So you would more want to do the Voltron approach, like in the later phases of the game when you have everything established.
Sure.
And you're still getting value, even if it's being done.
Yeah, you still want to give them that value. This cutter on 2. I guess that probably just means he has a very good curve out for the following turns and doesn't want to waste it.
The next Modern Masters
wants to generate a board.
Indeed.
Will be the final Modern Masters draft today.
Might have like a Kiora follow-up or something. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, potentially, or another 4-drop. Like, I think Matt can assume his opponent's hand is full of gasoline at this point, because Miscut of Hydra is usually a card not played out of 2.
Especially into a 2-3.
Especially into a 2-3. Like, that's...
Kevin hesitated a little bit on that attack. Probably kind of confused about the Miscutter.
Yeah. Maybe playing around Mutagenic Growth, who knows?
Planespeaker Adept is the follow-up. No, he was not playing around Mutagenic Growth. Planespeaker Adept is the follow-up. Enables some very intense turns with cards like, what's it called? Titan Strength.
Yeah.
Does he have anything like that?
All right, so Matt being knocked down to 16 from that attack. Kevin still 20.
Kevin has a Titan Strength. He has a Spark Jolt, too. Battle-Wise Valor. A bunch of cards that scry, so potential for some very good turns with that. So Fairies Band Centaur.
Yeah, very popular card today. Everyone seems to be playing it if they open it.
One of the best green cards in the set, so I guess a fairly reasonable thing to do. Kevin does hit his 4th land, only a turn late. It's fine. Probably doesn't need it anyways. Deck seems to curve out very low. Oh, has a Fall the Hammer. After the Inspired Trigger, allowing the Kragma Butcher to take out that Fairies Band Tromper. Now he just gets to get in there, as all his creatures are much better than the lonely 2/2 Miscutter Hydra.
Yes. Matt could consider trading his Hydra. No, 2/3.
Yeah, that is not how that works.
He could trade it for the. Nope.
No,
never mind. I'm confusing Fall the Hammer with the fight mechanic.
Indeed. And he has Titan Strength for the huge damage. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage this turn. And a scry.
Knocking Matt down to 4.
Yeah. That's I would go so far as to say that is terrible, terrible damage.
Terrible damage.
Yeah, terrible, terrible damage. We'll see if Matt has anything that can really handle this. Kevin has a flyer to easily sneak through the remaining points of damage.
Yeah.
Matt could play like maybe a Neshinasp if he even has that.
Perhaps Nylea's Disciple would be the ideal follow-up.
He does not have Nylea's Disciple or Neshinasp. Could play Nemesis Immortals.
Yeah, this is...
He has a bunch of options, but none of them actually seem to be any good.
Yeah. Especially when you're naming cards in the format that aren't even in his deck, the player's really, really far behind.
He does have Triton Tactics in his deck, so I guess that's why he played the Hydra earlier, so we can have a better camera refocusing. so he can have a better block later on.
Exactly.
But even then, he's not in a very good position at all here.
Yeah,
It's going to be very
Gray
dangerous for him.
Just not matching up well against 2-3s.
2-2s are not good against 2-3s. That's card.
Okay, archetype
The
of courage.
first strike. Archetype of first strike.
Removing all good profitable blocks from Matt.
Well, if he has Triton Tactics, and I'm assuming he does, because that would explain. Oh, wait, you can't Triton Tactics Mistcutter Hydra.
Correct.
Well, suddenly this seems a lot worse for him. Rejection from blue sometimes is a downside.
Yes, in your green-blue deck.
Hopefully he doesn't try to do it.
That would be very, very awkward.
I think we're too far to interact.
Oh,
he does.
Judge.
Triton Tactics on Mistcutter Hydra in the feature match.
I think we should install a buzzer or something. So we
Called
can
it. Called it.
Oh, and it looks like
Aggressive judge intervention.
all-around good guy.
I guess it's
tournament
Caster's
organizer
first
and Judge Kelly Ackerman.
Would you go so far as to say that it is ironic that you are casting and catching a violation of gameplay in a match that you're casting? For background,
I would say
while this judge ruling is going on,
it's come full circle.
my co-caster cast a Sun Titan with a single white mana up in the top 4 of a Star City tournament.
Yes. This,
Got away with it, despite it being casted by Patrick Chapin and others, and watched by several judges, and then several turns later was caught, and then conceded the match.
Well, you know, I just I didn't want to win under false pretenses like that through cheating or whatever, and unfortunately I drew very, very, very poorly in the third game to end up losing an extremely favorable match. But yeah, that's just how it crumbles sometimes.
So it looks like the situation is resolved.
Yeah.
Still a bad situation for Matt, regardless of how you do it.
Goes down to 3, losing a 25% of his life total from that Impetuous Sun Chaser.
Did not realize that Mistcutter Hydra had a downside, but apparently we've learned today that it does.
Yeah, protection is a double-edged sword.
From Triton Tactics.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever seen that before, but I guess sometimes your deck's so good that it interacts poorly with itself.
Yeah.
So I guess Nemesis Immortals is a good card, but
if he has a second Triton Tactics, maybe he can pull something together here.
He does not.
Does Kevin know that, though?
There's a Void Descent in his deck, so that's plausible. He also has Nullify, which he is representing, so...
Is Kevin Green going to go for an Elspeth?
That would be amazing, because there isn't one in his deck. Wait, what's that? That's the double strike Misoga.
Ghostblade Eidolon, I believe?
Yeah. That would do it if he does not have Nullify. 4 damage in the air.
Yeah. Well,
Matt should be at 3.
He's going to force a chump block from the Siren.
Right, he has a flyer.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
He has earned himself the right to draw one more card. Trade his Snapping Drake for
nothing. For a card.
Alright, so we do have a Kiora.
That one.
Locking down a Impetuous Sun Chaser and
Modern Masters number 4 is waiting
Omen
for
Speaker.
you. Please come to
Lock up the ground.
Alright, so actually
suddenly Matt seems to have stabilized.
Yeah.
Kevin does not appear to have any cards in hand, so we may well have a game out of this one.
And like
Kiora is the Voltron beater, so
normally with Kiora, at the very least, like they get a good blocker on their turn, but Impetuous Sun Chaser has to attack every turn, so if Matt goes crazy all of a sudden, wants to go on the offense, Kevin will have one less blocker, but Kevin's at 20,
Indeed.
So
it's a high value attack going on here.
Yeah, like he's really bringing the noise with this one.
First strike damage, 0.
Zero.
Regular damage,
0.
0.
Do you think he was attacking the Kiora for 0 or Matt for 0?
I would go so far as to say that doesn't matter.
Bold.
So Kiora
Bold play.
continues to do nothing here, passes the turn, leaving up, I believe he has the opportunity to monstrous. Let's do 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
3
10.
creatures in the bin, and we have a Loyal Pegasus.
I guess that'll do something.
Yeah.
Oh, he did not monstrous it. Vienneau playing perhaps somewhat loose there?
Perhaps, or maybe he's trying to keep up counter magic if he thinks there might be a flash play, but that seems excessively paranoid.
I'm going to chalk that one up to a misplay.
Alright.
Which is reasonable.
Right.
Draws an extra card with Kiora, realizes he actually has to deal with some of these cards now.
I don't know if Well, it's reasonable to assume he had a pump. Alright, so pressing Chimera.
I think the draw play is reasonable in the idea that he just has to get ahead somehow rather than just continuing to beat the Voltron.
Because low Pegasus is going to knock him down to 1, then at that point, like, any pump, any attacker, like, he can force through the last plane really easy.
Exactly, and this way he at least trades with the flyer, and then, like, I don't know.
Also, Matt could have a Voyage's End right now, and that would induce a...
If he had a Voyage's End, he would be blocking the, Okay.
Okay.
You can also scoop, that's fine. Sorry? Like, fairly certain he wasn't dead, but...
Yeah, pressing Chimera on Impetuous Sunchaser, trade that off. Ghostblade Eidolon comes back on the gun as a 1-1, and
then you fog the Loyal Pegasus. Never thought I'd say that, but... Yeah. Alright, it's fine.
Alright, maybe Matt showing off some rust, you know, maybe he...
Right, he played that pretty well otherwise, like...
Well, except for that Nemesis of Mortals monstrous trigger, so I don't know.
To be fair, that was kind of marginal regardless.
Yeah.
Like, a 5-5 and a 10-10, basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, especially in that board state when you're at...
Both have infinite power and infinite toughness in this format.
Like, very strategically sound play, but maybe, like, some very fine points that he might be leaking on. Which, you know, that's much better than most players in this.
He is playing more casually nowadays anyways, so...
Oh, okay.
See my pre-releases and such?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. How does he do it, those?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. You were too busy taking them down yourself? Is that what you're trying to say?
I was judging. It was a long day. Forgive me.
Okay. It's all a blur.
Forgive me. All right, so going to game 3. We'll see if this puts Kevin on the draw, which is bad for his deck.
Yeah. Maybe Matt's thinking about boarding in another flyer. I don't know. I think I saw him look over something.
Well, we keep seeing every flyer in Kevin's deck minus the Loyal Pegasus, which obviously isn't a huge player.
Yeah.
So it's possible Matt might end up overboarding for that kind of situation, given that he's seen flyers both times. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he'll show enough discipline to not overcommit to that kind of plan.
Yeah.
But we will see. We will see.
And Kevin just doesn't board in anything, just shuffles up.
I'm fairly certain Kevin's deck is just the best way to build his pool in an attempt to win.
Yeah.
Creates an aggressive deck.
We're seeing that a lot today.
Yeah. Well, this Kevin's deck is like a very, very good way of dealing with a pool that might be otherwise mediocre. You just play a curve. Like, there's like bronze sables in his deck. It's fine. Like, as long as your deck is aggressive and has a curve out and has some tricks, you can take matches that you wouldn't be able to win otherwise due to the quality of your pool. Yeah. Aggro's really good in this format. That is all.
So good that a 2-1 for 2, no abilities.
Yeah, you can play like Spark.
Has the place.
Yeah, and you can play like Spark Jolt because of things like that. There's a bunch of like 1-mana Death Touch guys. Sorry, not 1-mana. X1 Death Touch.
I remember like Sedge Scorpion. Like
Baleful Eidolon. Like just a bunch of X1s that you just have to kill sometimes.
Yeah.
And like Spark Jolt's like a 23rd card. It's a bunch of 23rd cards, but when your bunch of 23rd cards fit into your curve of an aggro deck,
and your plan for sure. Also that Flame Speaker add-up.
Yeah, well, that card's obviously sick.
Yeah.
Gets to play a 16 land aggro deck. I frequently end up like going down to 15 with these, but he does have the what's it called? We saw that game, the Ghostblade Eidolon, the double strike bestow guy. So I guess he does have to be able to get up to 6 sometimes. That is not very good as like a 3-mana 1/1. Yeah,
like that's one of the worst cards to suit up Voltron up, right?
What do you mean?
Ghostblade Eidolon, like bestowing onto it, pumping it. It's not exactly. Well, like it's a fine plan, but it's not like.
Double Strike's very good, but Double Strike's kind of win more on a Voltron dude because like it's unbeatable already. This time it's unbeatable twice.
But especially when your base is just being a 1/1,
it's very easy to get blown out by the removal of the format. However, it doesn't really matter what you're bestowing on in a matchup like this. In a way, you kind of want like the Eidolon to get Voyages ended, so you can bestow it later. But yeah,
that would be sweet.
When you have a Voltron onto a bestow guy, and then they Voyages end it, you can't really be that upset about it because you just start recreating Voltron again. Yeah, it's a huge tempo loss, obviously, but generally when you have Voltron going, you're like ahead on tempo. So.
Especially when your opponent's paying mana for Voyages end. Yeah. On the 4th, 5th, 6th turn, these green-blue decks, they normally they want to spend all their mana on those turns for a good creature or a big flyer, you know, and they don't. The
good green creatures are like turn 3 through 5.
Yeah. Same with the good blue ones too, right? Like Chimeras, Chorus Sirens, etc.
Yeah. So.
I don't think Matt's deck is actually very capable of dealing with a turn 1 Pegasus, turn 2 draw Unstable Stag. Like, that draw just...
Yeah. A good aggro star can absolutely bury him.
Yeah,
which, yeah. Which we did see that game. It was a very strong start. He had to play that awkward miscutter.
Yeah. Like...
Attempted to cast a blue spell on it.
Like, Snapping Drake just does not match up well against that set at all.
However, that card is very good otherwise.
Yeah.
So. We'll see.
It's really interesting how the evaluation of the cards shifts,
Indeed.
depending if your opponent's on aggro or more on the mid-range plan.
Whether or not you are the beatdown.
Yeah.
Again, shuffling. Shuffling's good.
Shuffling, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, big fan.
Sure, that randomization.
We had a double 7 keep last game. We'll see if we can't have it again.
Attention players, the Avison draft is looking for one more sign up. Please head over to the side table, event table.
I'm impressed that there are 7 people signed up for an Avison draft. It is a miserable format.
Maybe they didn't get the memo in that Bonfire is not a $50 card anymore. Matt is on the board? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kevin won that. Yeah. Oh, and apparently this green deck's starting to curve out it too.
Okay.
It's like the first time we've seen that card played on turn 2 today. So.
Yeah, the double green is
Swordwise Centaur.
Cost is quite prohibitive.
And there's the Cavalry Pegasus. Unfortunately, not as aggressive a start.
Yeah.
Tempo there, not as strong.
Cavalry Pegasus is like, it's a much better 4 or 5 drop card to play after you've developed your board, got in your free
still
damage.
Fine. Wow. Matt having a play to follow up the 3-2 here is very strong, given that Kevin's board is completely undeveloped, and yet he's the aggro deck.
The Legion is not assembled right now, that's for sure.
There is, yes, that is correct. There's no assembled Legion going on here. Gets in there for his 1 damage, follows it up with the Flameseeker Adept again. Maybe he'll be able to get another sick play here, but won't be quite as strong as last time, I assume. Generally, when you're a 1-mana card, deals 5 damage to the opponent's face and scries. Like 1-mana Lava Axe with an upside. I'd go so far as to say that you're winning those games.
Exactly, especially when you already have a well-developed board.
Exactly.
If he does it on his turn 4, maybe he's missing land drop, doesn't get to play a reasonable creature. Oh,
savage curve out from Matt here. This is one of those green decks' real big strength. Curving out 2 through 4 like this is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
All the green creatures are just bigger than the white-red creatures. And if you're not being aggressive with your combat tricks, you're just going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Like, it's very demoralizing when the green deck's creatures are in play quicker than yours and bigger than yours. Like, how do you come back from that?
Exactly.
Like, you're behind on an attack step.
If Kevin was on the play this game, then maybe there was some maybe there was a chance, but as is, dangerous. Winged Riders to follow up, but again, creatures that just aren't as big as his opponent's creatures.
If Matt was at a lower life total than 18, we're saying that right now, to Kevin's 12, there might be some threat of like a double Titan strength attack with a Cavalry Pegasus or like some type of insane damage dump first.
Well, the Flameseeker Adept is a human?
It is a human, it will be granted flying. But
so there is a possible Savage Voltron attack, but not necessary. So I'm assuming Matt's just going to turn things sideways and muddle things
kill
up,
his opponent next turn, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he's thinking about
Kevin's 12.
Kevin's at 12 right now.
However, there's a tank.
Also,
he's got to think about Titan Strength, to be fair. So
yeah, and
Titan Strength is very good here.
Well, so far, a small theme we're seeing in this match is that 2/3s, not bad blockers, occasionally.
Well, they're not great here.
Well, it blocks the...
Matt is a 3/3, a 3/2, and a 2/3, so...
It's just Titan Strength, yeah.
Titan Strength is a huge blow, and if Matt doesn't have an answer to it. If Matt has a Voyage's End, then this is so good. He could go to Voyage's End. There's a Voyage's End in this deck.
Excellent.
If he goes to Titan Strength, the Winged Rider, he can Voyage's End that. He doesn't get the Scry trigger on the on the Flameseeker Adept.
Yeah.
It's just a savage blowout. But the fact that he doesn't have it, the fact that he's tanking this long, means he probably doesn't have it. So he can't even make the attack and feign it anymore. And regardless of whether or not he has it, I think the reward for that play is so huge that Kevin should want to go for it regardless. And I think that might be what's about to happen here.
All right, yeah.
Does he have it? Does he have it? I guess Matt has priority, so get to wait for
Asking,
an interaction.
do you want to voyage end
Voyage end?
any of my creatures? I don't think that's going to do that.
Spark Jolt would be quite good here as well, I guess.
Oh,
There we
speak
go.
of the devil.
Why is he Spark Jolting that? Oh, in case it becomes a 5/5 off a combat check.
Yeah.
That's tight play.
Yeah, because the Wingseed Rider is going to trade with the
Yeah.
3/2 anyways, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, Scry's 1. Does he like his top card?
Apparently he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Still gets
Hesitantly committed to that top card.
gets used as a combat trick. It's not quite as good as the Titan Strength, but
I don't think that's
it's bad.
Feral
having an
Invocation.
answer. Yeah,
Alright.
to save the other one because Kevin was very well playing around the Feral Invocation there. The Flameseek Rad Up does get first strike on the Scry trigger, so
Indeed.
see that die. And Matt come ahead with that. Kevin will now need another way to trigger Flameseek Rad Up before he's able to block the 4/4 again.
Indeed. And Kevin being knocked down to 10.
Charlotte's getting through for some damage there. It's his 5th land. I'm not sure if he had that before. He did
yeah.
not. No, he did not. He played the Wingseed Rider and the other thing last turn. So
2-headed Cerberus.
1/2s with double strike, pretty good.
Oh, wow. This is
Getting a bit aggressive. Wants to win
Yeah.
a race here.
Kevin's
3
got a
in the
plan
air.
here, and it's to take you from 18 to 0, even though he's at 10 right now. Gets in for 3 damage.
Putting him to 15. Matt does not have a 5th land, which is of note, meaning he's got some gas. It's really like he
Yeah.
has like a Triton Tactics, which he was representing that turn, but probably decided not to use to save his.
Though he's missing his double blue, and that might be a bit of a hindrance, because it means his spell copier isn't quite turned on, and
The card's fine as a 2/3.
2
You play it regardless of whether or not it's good.
Yeah. Fellhide
Actually, he
Minotaur.
definitely doesn't have Triton Tactics. He would have used it last turn. It triggers Inspired too. Like it would have been a very good blowout.
Hold at bay, preventing 7 damage
He is fogging.
to himself, yeah.
I'm going to assume hold at base as players. I assumed it was always creatures, but I always viewed it as a mediocre combat trick. But
Yeah, well,
so be it.
this format is so centered on creatures, right? It's an easy thing
I guess
for
that's
this.
why Kevin's trying to race. That's the 2/3, right? Next board
yeah,
Triton.
exactly.
All right, not bad. I guess Kevin's deck is able to randomly alpha for a lot of damage, so
Unfortunately, that Cerberus is not a human. Cavalry Pegasus can't give it a boost.
that is correct. That would be ridiculous.
Dogs and Pegasus apparently don't get along. Or
Double red. Oh, maybe Thunder Smite?
Impetuous,
Impetuous
Sunchaser. All right. So it can
bit
get double
awkward.
flying.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It will have flying. Archetype of Imagination still removes both instances of that flying.
So savage.
It's a good card.
Attention, Jeff.
All right,
White,
Kevin.
Your store draft is waiting for you.
Kevin telling his opponent he doesn't have a trick, or else he would have attacked with 2-headed Cerberus, unless he's...
Not necessarily. It's very likely he's keeping it back as a blocker for the 5 power guy.
Perhaps.
So Kevin's at 10?
11, I believe. That was an attack
No,
for 4.
Kevin's at 10.
Yeah, Kevin's at 10, Matt's at 11.
All right.
For some reason, I'm mixing up the names, even
It's
though
very
there's-
possible he just wants to block the 5 power guy again. Yeah.
Is Kevin just... I don't think anyone's playing any effects.
Nope.
Huh.
Oh man, Bronze Sable.
Bronze Sable.
Bronze Sable on both sides here. Was that in his main deck?
Yes, it was, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that card. Alpha Mirror, pretty good.
Oh, no, it was not in this main deck. He boarded it in for this
Interesting.
match.
Boards in against the aggressive deck. A bunch of 2/3s in Kevin's deck, though. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
All right, what's Kevin got here? Archetype of First Strike.
All right, so if Kevin
that's-
decides to switch gears at least, he'll...
Kevin
be-
went to 6 on that last turn, right? You blocked the guy and took 4?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
So, Kevin does need more than one blocker. The Sunchaser has to attack each turn, so that probably would have been the best thing to leave behind, but obviously that's not an option for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can only get in for 3 in the air here. Big exponent. 8.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin's...
That's unfortunate. Kevin's on...
That two-headed Cerberus just being thrown away as a chump blocker,
not really where he wants to be.
Exactly.
Just getting in for 1. It's not generally a good sign for him.
10-6. A really close, tight race, but...
Kevin falling behind at this point.
Yeah.
Thought he had a chance with some combat tricks, but doesn't look like he's going to be clawing his way out of this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, if he was able to draw a Titan Strength, perhaps this game would have been...
Yeah, he has Titan Strength and Battle-Wise Valor, so there were potential blowouts.
Yeah.
Fanatic of Mogus, Dragon Mantle. A lot of cards that would have been like fairly good in these situations.
Now Matt taking his time. He's got plenty of time on the clock. No need to rush things.
He has Rise to the Challenge and Thunderous Might as well. So a bunch of ways to just get a bunch of damage in the air. But
yeah.
Matt being careful to think through this situation.
Yeah. It's very difficult turn to navigate because at any moment your opponent can attack with his all-human army for flying, right? So it's hard to keep back blockers, but you don't want to attack into first striking blockers either, so...
That is at 10. The Flameseeker Adept can make a lot of damage appear out of nowhere very quickly.
Yeah, like...
You gotta respect the card.
One lucky Titan Strength off the top, and
yeah.
It could be close to
the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11
yeah,
in the
kill
air.
some.
I mean, Kevin does have to commit blockers, but I guess that's just what Matt is going through. Doing the math properly.
But the problem... Yeah.
It is important to note that Kevin's team does have first strike, making combat more awkward for Matt than it would be normally. Making him think it through even more.
In situations like this, like cards like Sun and Storm are just like...
Yeah, Sun and Storm would be insane.
Insane in this format, but...
It's really good in the format. Would be great in this situation as well.
Yeah. All right, so Matt goes all in, probably the best attack he can make.
Yeah. Kevin likely just wants to throw 2 creatures under the bus and maybe have a chance to swing back for a good number.
Yeah.
I assume he wants to keep the Flamespeaker Adept, as that's probably his only out.
Yeah.
Or not.
I don't know if
I guess the Adept doesn't matter.
I don't know if I like blocking with the Adept here, unless he has a trick, because that seems like one of your only ways to...
Well, it's just 2/3s bouncing off of each other.
Yes, but if Matt has a trick to kill your Adept, it might close the door.
If he has a trick and you don't block there, you're at 6, you just die.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there aren't any +1/+1 tricks that are really relevant in this. I think there's only one or something.
I think everything that you could play here that was a non-Crypsis trick would do it. So I think it's just reasonable.
Okay. And that's why you top 8 GPs and I lose my win and then...
Cast on Titans for 5 colors, 1 white.
That too.
So Matt's separating 3 mana here.
Draft is waiting for you.
Or just 1. Do you have the Triton Tactics? Yeah, he's going to attempt to save some of his creatures here. Taps down his opponent, ensures that ensures that Kevin can't attack for lethal next turn. Good tempo play.
Very good. I like targeting your 2/3 and your Sable with this ability. Just
probably. It's rare that you get to see. Oh, you just want to untap that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because the Cavalry Pixis is dying, so you want your biggest guy on D for the Flameseeker Adept, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I think you just keep the Flameseeker Adept tapped down. Oh, he's probably playing around Lightning Strike on the Charlatan. It's reasonable.
Yeah. And Kevin being knocked down a 4 here.
It's a very poor situation for him, given that he has to attack with one of his 2 blockers. Although blocking just delays the inevitable anyways.
Yeah.
In for 1. Alright, I'll take it.
Yeah, it goes to 9. Like, this crackback coming from Matt looks like it's going to be lethal.
Kevin needs a lot of stuff to happen for him to still be in this game. That is... Oh, that's the double strike guy.
Ghostblade Eidolon, yeah.
Indeed. He is just going to block, and it looks like Kevin is dead on board. I don't believe he has a lightning strike, otherwise he probably would have used it at some point.
Yeah, to get ahead on board, not have to jump with one of his creatures.
Yep. Looks like the writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
That turns the team sideways, and... See if Kevin's just looking over his options. The second
Yeah.
time.
He's got the time, might as well play it through, make sure you're completely dead.
Maybe he does have something. Another hold at bay?
Block.
As you can loudly hear, that is time in the round. It's
But-
possible Kevin boarded in his second hold at bay. That might be a bit crazy, though.
But these players do have a time extension because they got deck checked. So
Sure, they have at least an additional 5 minutes.
yeah,
Regardless, the game is on its
yeah. There's no
last
way.
couple turns.
I don't think this game could possibly last 5 more turns unless Matt F6 through combat a few times.
Well, this is not Moto, so...
What? This is a Moto?
Time in the round. Active player finished the turn, and there are 5 additional turns.
Yeah, Kevin.
Thought our program froze there for a second.
Oh,
It's moving so slowly.
Yeah.
Nothing's moving. He has to see him twitch every once in a while.
Looks like he's coming to terms with this. At 4, facing 4 attackers.
I hope this is a 6 low roll.
Yeah. Maybe another hold at bay, perhaps.
Did he have lightning strike?
If he has
He
lightning,
did not have lightning strike.
Yeah, and also this block.
There's a last breath in his deck. That's possible.
Good last breath is Impetuous Sunchaser.
Or last breath one they. Or I guess that's the play he's making. It's weird. So first strike happens, and he's probably on the last breath. The
Oh, yeah.
double strike guy maybe. There it is. The Sun Chaser.
Yeah. And this way, if he rips Titan Strength and if Matt doesn't contribute anything to the board,
Yeah.
he has a very small chance to win, but it's better than no chance.
Better than none. Kevin playing very tight toward his outs here. If Matt does have a follow-up, though, then this is very rough for Kevin. And there we
Yeah.
go. It's probably Nemesis.
Can't play that quickly
That one.
enough.
That one's pretty good. And well, it was a land anyways. So Matt Vienneau takes the match in 3.
Advancing
Kevin,
to 4-0.
yep, to 4-0. Kevin's deck unfortunately not able to reward him in the ways he needed for it to win the match. See you guys next round.